everybody! This is Casino Co. here to review the 1997 Kenner Thrasher T-Rex. This figure, originally made in 1997 by Kenner, originally came with capture gear and a snazzy looking box, which I do not own. It was created for the release of the Lost World Jurassic Park and was the cheaper of the two T-Rexes of the line, with the main T-Rex of the line being the Bull T-Rex, which I also do not own. The 1997 Lost World line was known for its love and dedication to detail and accuracy. Sure, the Mattel lines nowadays are very focused on that as well, but not to the same love and degree as Kenner is, as you will see very shortly. Kenner really pulled out the big shots for this one, making sure the paint job and sculpt were above and beyond, knowing that this would be the best-selling figure of the line, because, you know, the T-Rex always sells. Starting off with the head sculpt, you can see the resemblance to the T-Rex in the Lost World Jurassic Park, closely resembling it perfectly. Even having the dual-lap thing that the original Jurassic Park T-Rex had. Well, let me just get this on the stand very quick. There we go. Even inside the mouth, they sculpted every little, every little crevice and bump perfectly, even fully sculpting the tongue. Moving down the figure, we see every flap and skin fold perfectly sculpted across the neck, even on the other side being generally the same. Now, of course, you can see a little paint wear, especially on the teeth up here. This was not originally designed in the figure. It is obviously part of the fact that this thing is more than 30 years old and has been thoroughly played with by me. I've had many great memories with this figure. Anyways, moving on, we see the arms shaded over with some greenish color, along with the normal green plastic that it usually is. And then the claws painted a beautiful black. If we move down the figure even more, we see the green rib cage lovingly aligned on the chestial region. We can even feel in the rib cage and feel the control box that is used to control the thrashing mechanism, which I'll show you later. Moving down the body once more, we can see where the legs meet across the seam line. Now, the legs are not what they used to be, especially this one being a little more wobbly than this one over here, but not to worry. We move down the leg, we see the beautiful tiger striping and the JP29 logo. If it's not Jurassic, then it's extinct, said the old advertisements from the 1993 Jurassic Park toy lines. We make our way down to the feet, and we see the toe claws painted beautifully black, with the skin folds, or whatever these things are called, painted black as well. Now we make our way down to the bottoms of the feet. We see the bottoms of the feet beautifully sculpted, each individual bump, which is a whole new level of detail that not even the new toys are able to replicate. Moving down the figure again, we can see the seam line where they sewed the figure together. And moving down even further, we can see the continuation of the black tiger striped coloring and the white underbelly of the figure, which goes up and across the entire figure. So as you can see, it is a very gorgeous figure. The Thrasher T-Rex is primarily a greenish color. This would match with the rest of the line and the theming of the movie being green and lime green for some reason being the main color choices for the theming of the film. Of course, with the usual red Jurassic Park coloring as well. This figure is really good, don't get me wrong, I've been praising it for the last couple of minutes. However, it does have some fatal flaws as well. For example, the front of the body is a little too heavy, making it fall over when you try to get it to stand. Now, if you try really hard, you can get to stand like I did in the photos you saw earlier in this review. However, saying how much I'm moving this thing around, I'm using a stand from an SH Monster Arts figure to help this T-Rex stand up. Also, the legs are a little bit loose. This has happened over time due to the figure aging. I'm sure it would have standed perfectly back in 1997. If you owned this thing back in 1997, feel free to say I'm wrong, but that's just a few critiques I have about this figure. Now let's talk about some of the action features this thing has. If you grab it by the end of the tail and move it from side to side, you can see that it can move in a sort of thrashing motion. Now, if we lift up the top of the head and lift up the tongue, we see the tongue lifts up once you lift up the head. If you push down on the tongue, it will it bit me! Help! I can't get it out! I can't get it out! Now, like most action figures, this figure has articulation, surprisingly. Most of the original toys from the 1993 Jurassic Park line didn't have much articulation. However, this one, the Lost World T-Rex, does have some articulation. We can see that the arms can probably move in a full 360, but like I said, this was made in 1997 and I don't want to risk popping an arm off. This arm over here can have the same articulation. This is the tight leg I was talking about earlier. Reason it's tight is I have a rubber band around the leg. However, before shooting this, I jacked up one of the legs when articulating it because of the rubber band inside of it. So I'm going to remove it shortly after I review this figure. Then, on the other side, we have the leg that I jacked up, which is very unnecessarily and scaringly loose. Now, let's do a size comparison between the Thrasher T-Rex and some of the other dinosaurs from other Jurassic Park lines. Here it is, next to the Parasaurolophus from the same toy line. As you can see, it is much larger than the Parasaurolophus, obviously. It's a T-Rex. Our next comparison is to Dennis Nedry right here from the Hammond collection. I can't remember how tall the original human figures were from the 1997 Jurassic Park toy line, or how large the reviews I've seen said they were, but I sure do know that they were a lot taller than the Hammond collection figures. Our next size comparison is gonna be next to Mattel's new Buck T-Rex, which is supposed to be mimicking the same T-Rex from the movie that this Thrasher T-Rex is mimicking. As you can see, the Thrasher T-Rex has a lot more paint applications and is more overall better detailed. However, that is not to diss the chomping Buck T-Rex we have right here. The Buck T-Rex has some solid paint applications on the head and even a new sculpt from the previous T-Rex that we've seen from Mattel's line. The only major problem I have with the figure is the lack of paint on the underbelly and the toenails and fingernails. Here we have the Thrasher T-Rex next to the famous Red Rex. Obviously, as you can see, the Red Rex is much larger than the Thrasher T-Rex. Reason that is the Thrasher T-Rex was not supposed to be the largest T-Rex in the 1997 toy line, with that title going to the Bull T-Rex. So instead of focusing on size and girth, it instead put its priority into detail, in my opinion. Although, both figures are equally as detailed, but in my opinion, the Thrasher T-Rex definitely has has the better head sculpt out of the two. The Thrasher T-Rex is a total of 20 inches and a half long and like 10 and a half inches tall. Pretty big toy, as you can see. The amount of love and care that was poured into this action figure is very noticeable and is well appreciated by the Jurassic Park fan base nowadays. It's almost more of a piece of art than a toy. Thank you for watching my review of the Kenner 1997 Lost World Jurassic Park T-Rex, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And most importantly, remember to like and subscribe so that I can reach 1,000 subscribers before I die of old age. Bye-bye!